Bonsoir. Hey, je suis contente, Paul-André. C'est fantastique. Alors, je vais vous parler un petit peu de la relation que j'ai développée avec Paul-André, qui n'était pas du tout issue d'un coup de foudre. J'ai a priori pensé que nos affinités étaient bien minces. What a mistake. Having had the privilege and pleasure of seeing him on a daily basis for more than 20 years at Circuit Centre Chorégraphique, I was able to discover a deeply enduring man, a philosopher whose maturity enriched our universe, contemporary dance, where youth often come first. He greatly contributed to the evolution of Circuit and to create a climate of mutual assistance, collegiality, sharing, and solidarity. His love of literature and fine dining, his curiosity, his constant desire to innovate, to stay connected to the world around us, his need to laugh, especially, are, among others, things that have brought us closer together enough so that I can say today that I truly miss him, since he lives more than 400 kilometers from Montreal. I have enjoyed and still enjoy spending time with him, both to share his daily life and to share important moments in his career, including the many awards and honor he has received, since he always took care to invite me to this ceremony. Here I am. J'ai également beaucoup d'admiration pour la relation pleine de complicité et de respect qu'il entretenait avec Gilles Savary, directeur général de sa compagnie pendant de nombreuses années. Respect humain et respect du travail de l'autre et de son importance. An exemplary model of artist-administration relationship. In fact, it is this wonderful duo that gave me enormous support when I first started as the executive and artistic director of Circuit Est. Their intelligence, solidarity, and generosity deeply touched and inspired me, both professionally and humanly. Ce merveilleux homme qui danse has greatly enriched the landscape of dance, not only in Montreal, but in Toronto, Canada, and internationally, but even more importantly to me, in my own landscape. C'est maintenant dans un paysage bercé par les flots du fleuve Saint-Laurent que j'irai partager du temps avec lui. Paul-André greatly deserved the honor bestowed upon him today, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank him for all he has done for the advancement of choreographic art. Paul-André, je t'aime beaucoup.
Bonsoir, good evening. Merci Francine, c'est un témoignage très touchant. This is my third visit to Hall of Fame. I was here to launch the Hall of Fame. I was here to do the speech, the launching speech of Hall of Fame a few years ago, and then I came back to introduce Françoise Sullivan, one of the Quebec major pioneer in contemporary dance, who happens to be a close friend of mine. And I'm here today as an inductee. So that's life. And merci beaucoup pour cet honneur que vous me faites. Et je voudrais féliciter tous les autres récipiendaires. Je suis en merveilleuse compagnie. I spent the last 50 years dancing, choreographing, and teaching. Dance was my passion. Dance was my life. I did my last professional show at age 71. Simply because I believe in the poetry of the aging body. And I think that the younger choreographers should remember that. I worked with an impressive number of great people who have been extremely generous with me. I'm talking about dancers, rehearsal directors, composers, scenographers, lighting designers, costumes designers, visual artists, video artists, filmmakers, writers, technical directors, arts council agents, presenters, theater directors, board members, and many others. I want to thank them all. Without them, I would not stand here tonight. And I want to address special thanks to Gilles Savary, who has acted as my general manager for 28 years. This was a relation based on respect and emulation. As I said, this year, this summer, I'm celebrating 50 years of dance. I did my first plie in 1972 in the other century, the previous. It's a coincidence because Miriam Adams and Lawrence Adams, that same year, created something with 15 dancers. 2 years later, they created the dance lab, the 15 dance lab. And in the mid-70s, the second part of the mid-70s, I was a dancer with Groupe Nouvelle Air in Montreal, and I was in charge of organizing what we called les corps-échanges, where we were inviting various companies to perform in our studio in Montreal. And I was in charge of addressing the invitations, and I did invite Lawrence and Miriam Adams to Montreal to perform in our studio. They showed a piece entitled A Day in the Life of a Brick. A shock. An absolute shock. They put a brick in the center of the space. Lawrence took a spotlight and went in slow motion over the brick. It took forever. From sunrise to sunset. That piece was stunning. It signed my initiation to performance art and had a seminal influence on me as a creator. Thank you. And during I did a terrific career. I did tour extensively in the country and abroad. I'm very grateful for this wonderful life. And I had the pleasure and the opportunity to create here in Toronto 4 contemporary dance icons. I mean, Susan McPherson, Patricia Fraser, Peggy Baker, and Claudia Moore. I can say that I was extremely spoiled. And more recently, I worked with Naishi Wang, who is a Toronto dancer who I consider as one of the most extraordinary contemporary dance artists of our days. I am now retired. I live a peaceful and joyful life on the riverbank of the magnificent St. Lawrence River.
Oh, really?
But I must admit that I really miss the dance milieu, meaning I miss you all. Thank you.